Ever feel like you're just drowning in information, but you're not really getting it, you
Yeah,
know?
like you want the core stuff, the insights that actually make sense.
Exactly. That's what we try to do here with the deep dive. We dig into the material you're curious about, pull out the really surprising bits, the stuff that gives you that aha moment.
Right. It's about getting past the surface level.
Yeah.
We're aiming to guide you through complex ideas, find the knowledge that, well, actually matters.
And today, we're diving into Anthony Wedderburn's The Book of Wisdom. Now, it's not your average book.
No, definitely not.
It explores some pretty deep stuff, esotericism, that hidden spiritual knowledge, and occultism, symbolism, all that.
But the core idea, really, is syncretism. It's about blending different beliefs, different philosophies to get a bigger picture.
A picture of consciousness, reality, how it's all connected.
Exactly. Wedderburn basically says everything,
Yeah.
from the tiniest thing to the whole universe, it all comes from one source. It's all linked.
Okay, so our mission for this deep dive is to get a handle on his core concepts, right? His view on reality, mind, body, the spiritual journey.
Yeah, and we'll highlight some of the really intriguing connections he makes, things you might not expect to be related. It covers a lot of esotericism, occultism, like you said.
So before we jump in, the book kind of asks you to do two things. First, try and step back from how you usually think about things.
Yeah, kind of free your mind from the usual constraints.
And second, start seeing reality as this big, interconnected whole. He even mentions how our logical left brain can sometimes, break things down too much, miss the forest for the trees.
Right, it can limit the perspective.
Okay, so with that sort of open mind, let's unpack this. Where does he start?
Well, the foundation is pretty striking. It starts with light. He references Genesis, let there be light,
Okay.
and proposes that everything, the whole universe, originates from light waves.
Huh?
Then he brings in Walter Russell's idea.
Walter Russell, what's his take?
Russell saw God as, quote, a thinking mind, and the substance of that mind, its light.
A thinking mind whose substance is light. Wow.
Yeah, and Russell said, mind is expressed in light. So light isn't just the start, it's the actual substance of everything.
Yeah.
One unified reality.
Mind expressed in light. Okay, that's a big concept right there.
It is. And building on that, the book uses the term human.
Human, like H-U-E.
Exactly. It's partly a play on words, suggesting our identity is linked to color attributes, but more importantly, it emphasizes that we are mind, not just the body.
So we embody mind.
Yes. Without mind, the book argues, the physical body, the world, none of it has meaning. We couldn't experience it.
It's like the mind is the projector, maybe, or the screen shaping our reality.
Kind of. He uses this analogy of the mind as a frequency tuner.
A frequency tuner, how does that work?
It operates on what he calls a mental plane, like this universal network connecting all minds everywhere.
Okay, like we're all radios on the same network.
Pretty much. And here's where it gets really interesting. The book suggests we don't necessarily create all our thoughts.
We don't. So where do they come from?
They come to us based on the frequency our mind is tuned to on that mental plane.
Right, so if I'm focused on, say, wealth.
You're tuning your mental radio to that frequency. You become more receptive to thoughts, ideas, opportunities related to wealth.
Like attracts like, almost. And we all have a dominant frequency based on our habits.
That's the idea. And this brings back the color thing, the hue in human.
Ah, okay, connect the dots for me.
Each mental frequency corresponds to a color that our mind projects onto the astral plane.
The astral plane. Another dimension.
Yes, another layer of reality. And our emotions influence this. So strong negative emotions like hate might show up as reddish, darker colors there.
So our hue changes with our emotional state and frequency.
Exactly. And the ultimate goal, according to the book's spiritual journey, is to raise your frequency to the highest vibration in the visible spectrum, violet.
Violet. Okay, so let's just quickly recap this first bit. We're beings of light, basically, in a physical body.
Right. Fundamentally light.
Our minds are like tuners on this cosmic mental network, picking up thoughts based on our frequency.
Which then manifest as colors on the astral plane.
Okay, got it. So if that's the foundation, how does the book explain how we actually perceive the world around us?
Well, it argues that what we think of as reality isn't directly perceived. Light waves come into our eyes, sure, but the image, the sounds, everything, it's constructed.
Constructed where?
In the visual cortex, at the back of the brain. He mentions the ancient Egyptians understood this. He even connects the sigil of Lucifer, meaning light bearer, to our visual field.
So our eyes are just the input. The brain builds the picture.
Precisely. And even the basic elements like earth, air, fire, water.
Yeah.
He breaks down element into element. El meaning God, and ment meaning mind.
God, mind. So the elements are in our mind.
Or within the universal mind, yeah.
Yeah.
It implies the building blocks of reality exist within consciousness itself.
Which leads back to us being divine manifestations.
Exactly. Humanity as God embodied. God is the universal mind, and everything happens within that consciousness. This sets up the idea of the body as a sacred vessel.
A sacred vessel. Okay. And this is where the Christ oil comes in.
Yes. This is a central concept. According to the book, this Christ oil is a special psychophysical fluid produced in the brain.
Psychophysical. So mind and body.
Right. And there's a specific process. When the moon aligns with your zodiac sign,
Okay.
this fluid flows down the spine to the sacrum at the base.
And the book says we need to preserve this.
Yes. Avoid acidic foods, and crucially, conserve sexual energy. This is needed to elevate the oil back up to the brain.
Back up to heaven, as he puts it.
Exactly. This conservation and elevation is linked to chakra activation and Kundalini awakening.
Which we hear about in yogic traditions and stuff.
Right. By preserving the oil and managing this energy, you can awaken the Kundalini energy, usually dormant at the base of the spine.
And raise it up through the chakras.
All the way up the 7 chakras along the spine, to the crown chakra at the top of the head. This process is said to create new neural pathways,
Rewiring the brain, essentially. Enhancing its capabilities.
leading to a profound transformation. Increased brain function, activating dormant areas. The book calls this being born again.
Born again through this internal process. Can you walk us through the stages, this oil journey?
Sure. It starts in the colostrum, a part of the brain. That's where the oil is produced.
Okay, the cluster.
Then it goes to the pineal and pituitary glands. The pineal, he links into Joseph, male, it electrically charges the fluid.
And the pituitary.
Linked to Mary, female, magnetic. It magnetically charges it.
So it gets this dual charge.
Yes. Then this charged fluid travels down 2 nerve pathways along the spine. The ida, connected to the pituitary, more feminine magnetic.
Okay.
And the pingala, linked to the pineal, more masculine electric. It descends to the sacrum bone, the solar plexus area,
And it stays there.
for about 2 or 3 days. If the energy has been conserved, this activates the Kundalini
Transforming it.
into a gas, a more subtle form. This gas then rises up through the 33 vertebrae of the spine.
33 vertebrae, okay.
It reaches the medulla oblongata, the brainstem connecting the spine to the higher brain,
And then?
upwards to the pineal gland, and finally the cerebrum, the main part of the brain.
And this whole journey is the rebirth.
Yes, leading to pineal activation, brain cell regeneration, even regeneration of the body's cells, according to the book.
Wow. That is incredibly detailed. And he connects this internal process to religious texts symbolically.
Deeply. The brain itself becomes the upper room where Jesus met the disciples.
And the disciples.
The 12 cranial nerves in the brain, the Holy Land flowing with milk and honey.
Yeah.
Milk is the pituitary moon, magnetic, female. Honey is the pineal sun, electric, male.
Milk and honey in the brain, okay.
Even the promised land of Israel is seen as the fully realized activated brain. And Christos, the Greek word for oil.
Connects directly to Christ.
Exactly. He quotes Corinthians, "Do you not know that Jesus Christ is within you?" It's all pointing inward.
So the whole spinal system, the cerebrospinal fluid, it's all part of this sacred map, the Dead Sea.
Symbolically linked to the sacrum solar plexus, where the oil rests. The spinal cord is the pathway, the highway for the oil's ascent. The vagus nerve is a key intersection.
Right. And John 3.3, unless you are born again.
He links that directly to the oil rising through those 33 vertebrae. The whole story of Jesus' death for 3 days, resurrection, crucifixion at 33.
Becomes a metaphor for this internal journey.
Yes. Oil down is God coming to earth. 3 days in the caves of the sacrum. Resurrection is the Kundalini rising. Crossing the vagus nerve is the crucifixion at 33. It's transmuting spirit matter into spirit.
Okay, I see the parallels he's drawing. What about the Old Testament, like Jacob wrestling with God?
Jacob represents the oil itself. The rock he rests on is the sacrum, the ladder to heaven.
The spinal cord, leading to the brain, our personal heaven.
Exactly. The book is quite literal about that the spinal cord is the way to your head, your heaven.
And Matthew 6.22, the light of the body is the eye. That fits too. Inner illumination.
Right. And after wrestling, Jacob names the place Penuel,
Pineal.
He interprets that as the pineal gland. Jacob says, I have seen God face to face, the pineal as the seat of consciousness, the throne of God within.
Which ties straight into Luke 17.21, the kingdom of God is within you.
Absolutely. It hammers home that internal, personal journey.
This book really does lean heavily on symbolism. Even the sun and moon aren't just out there.
No, they represent fundamental energies.
Yeah.
Sun, male, positive, active, projecting energy. Moon, female, negative, receptive, attractive.
They balance each other out.
In the brain's claustrum, yes. That's the inner milk and honey, the harmony of these solar and lunar forces in our minds.
What about the medical symbol, the staff with the two snakes?
That gets interpreted too. The two snakes are the Ida and Pingala, the Kundalini channels winding around the staff, which is the spine.
And the wings sometimes shown at the top.
Representing the energy ascending to the brain. The whole symbol signifies awakened Kundalini, moving the fluid up towards the pineal, associated with healing and higher consciousness.
And the word Lord in texts, not always an external God.
It can refer to your own higher self, the inner observer connected to the source. Again, milk, pituitary moon, and honey, pineal sun, are symbols for this inner process.
Okay.
The medical field, using the serpent symbol, is seen as hinting at this ancient idea, raising Kundalini, activating the Christ oil, healing, awakening brain cells. Masonic art uses it too. Tree as spine, leaves as brain, snake as Kundalini.
Even the three wise men from the east.
Symbolically, they're seen as the thalamus, pineal, and pituitary glands in the brain, bringing their gifts, their functions to the newborn consciousness.
And Moses lifting the serpent in the wilderness.
John 3.14, lifting the serpent is raising the Kundalini. The Son of Man must be lifted up refers to the soul ascending via pineal activation, maybe leading to out-of-body experiences.
Birds often symbolize the soul or spirit, right? And the serpent, knowledge.
Yes, birds are higher aspirations. The serpent mind is analytical, perceives duality. The mind bridges the soul and body, projecting awareness. The soul itself, like Brahma, can have many faces or bodies.
And Freemasonry distinguishes Jesus the man from the Christ consciousness.
It often emphasizes the consciousness aspect, transcending the physical, which fits as within, so without. Our inner state creates our outer reality.
Genesis 2.9, the tree of life and tree of knowledge.
Tree of life linked to the cardiovascular system, the heart, the flow of life. Tree of knowledge to the nervous system, the mind-learning duality via the CNS.
Even the four rivers of Eden
symbolize four sacred body fluids. Blood, saliva, the Christ oil, and semen vaginal fluid. Each carries vital energy.
And the heart's role is much bigger than just pumping blood.
Oh, yes. Center of our electromagnetic field, 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the brain's field. Source of emotions, the universal language. Its pulse is the breath of life.
So correlations. Body is earth, mind is moon, soul is sun.
Exactly. And the Temple of Solomon isn't a building, it's your body. Earth, water, fire, air linked to body, mind, soul, spirit.
So you, the listener, are like a quantum photon, a star in a body.
A spark of light connected to the source, experiencing separation through incarnation and the nervous system.
And the link between heal and hell?
It implies operating only from the base physical level, driven by desires and fears, leads to a limited, suffering state, a personal hell, disconnected from higher awareness.
Okay, let's zoom in on the pineal gland. It seems absolutely central to this whole thing.
It really is. This small, cone-shaped gland near the brain center. The book calls it the home of the mind, the soul's residence, the light of the body.
The male spiritual organ activated with eyes closed through spirituality.
Right. And it contains microcrystals.
Microcrystals, what do they do?
They can receive and emit subtle frequencies. It also has cells similar to photoreceptors in our eyes.
So it can interact with light directly. Absorb, reflect, emit light.
Yes, which the book links directly to enlightenment, bringing forth inner light. Then there's the controversial bit.
About the Vatican.
The idea that knowledge about the pineal's power was suppressed, texts destroyed, a coded Bible created to keep people from finding the divine within themselves.
So the pineal isn't just biology, it's the seat of consciousness, the soul's throne, a hollow chamber holding universal essence.
Exactly. When you say I, you mean the consciousness in the pineal guiding the body. My body is just the vehicle.
And the number 33 comes up again.
Related to the divine throne at the brain center. Our consciousness linked to the greater universal consciousness. The right brain creativity, intuition.
That's the right hand of God, the cerebrum.
Yes. The pineal's central spot is sacred. The brain hemispheres are like guardian cherubim.
What about symbols like the sword and the lamb? Or the lamb looking at a cup.
Sword of the Lamb represents eliminating lower consciousness, ascending. Lamb looking at the cup with the sun shows consciousness focused at the brain center.
Birds are higher qualities, animals lower instincts.
Generally, yes. Tree stump is the spine again. And the Holy Grail.
Is the neck and skull the cup filled by sun, pineal, and moon pituitary energy creating the Christ oil?
Right. Masonic art shows sun moon making milk and honey. Pituitary moon is milk, magnetic, pineal sun is honey, electric.
And Corinthians 6.1920 reminds us the body is a temple, elevate the sacred fluid, care for the vessel.
The core idea being that powerful concepts like the Holy Grail or the Temple of Solomon were externalized by those in power.
To distract us from the divinity within, from being created in the image of God.
That's the suggestion. Keep people looking outside themselves.
This idea of inner divinity naturally leads to thinking about ourselves as multidimensional, existing on different planes.
Right. The book argues that traditional religions often layer teachings about body, consciousness, reality to maintain authority and shape experience.
But it proposes reality as multi-layered, mental, astral,
Etheric and physical planes, all interconnected. Higher levels are more fluid, formless, lower are denser, tangible. Think Leonardo da Vinci, as above, so below.
mental realm as cause, physical as effect. Change your mind, change your reality.
Exactly. The mental plane is thoughts, the collective universal mind. We receive thoughts by frequency.
Okay. Then the astral plane.
Our thoughts take shape. Imagination, mental images. It has vibrational frequencies, higher, middle, lower influenced by emotions. Astral projection happens here.
And beings exist there. Demons, angels.
Yes, often thought forms are energies. Negative thoughts can even become demons. The word demon is linked to moon mind. Dreaming is seen as the soul journeying in the astral.
Then the etheric plane.
Energy, electricity, magnetism. The fifth element, spirit or ether. It bridges the physical and astral.
The word either contains ether, symbolizing unity.
That's the connection made. Etheric beings like goblins, gnomes, trolls are said to exist here, sometimes materializing inspiring myths.
And finally, the physical plane, matter.
Governed by the elements, showing the effects from higher realms. As above, so below. Magic, in this view, involves using astral-etheric influences on the physical. There's constant interaction.
Masonic pillars symbolize reflections across planes.
Yes. Stars are seen as gateways to the astral plane, the soul's journey.
So astral projection techniques. Relax, breathe, focus on the pineal, visualize pulling a rope.
That's one method described. Tingling means the etheric body is awakening. Fear pulls you back.
And Jesus walking on water.
Interpreted as astral projection into the etheric plane. Mastery over subtle energy. Peter sinking. Fear pulling him back to the physical. This leads us to the chakras.
Right, the 7 energy wheels.
Chakra, Sanskrit for wheel. 7 energy centers forming the aura's electromagnetic field, like mini brains regulating cells and organs.
Linked to the 7 seals in Revelation.
That's the parallel drawn. They're part of the etheric body, linking soul to physical. They go from the root chakra, physical, up to the crown, spirit formless.
So the journey is from spirit into matter, then back up through the chakras.
Yes. Our true divine self is hidden behind them. Overcoming challenges harmonizes them, lets the true self shine.
Aligning mind and body with the soul's intent reveals our divine nature, free from blocks.
Exactly. And 144,000 go to heaven. Not literal people.
Interpreted as the frequency reached when energy ascends from root to crown, head as heaven, also linked to the number of petals on lower chakras.
Each chakra also has a vowel sound. A, E, I, O, U.
Y, and sometimes M, and a unique frequency. Chanting them correctly produces O-H-M.
The sound of creation, aligning the 7 creative energies.
And the chakras link back to the planes, mental, astral, etheric, physical.
Yes. Ether is the bridge. Unlocking etheric chakras accesses our spiritual form. There are affirmations for each. I know, crown. I see, third eye. I speak, throat. I love it, heart. I solar plexus. I feel, sacral. I am, root.
And signs of activation. Freedom from fear, root, lust, sacral craving, solar, hatred, heart.
Enjoying self-expression. Throat, intuition, astral projection, third eye. Oneness without negativity, crown.
Upper 3 are elevated consciousness, lower 3 basic physical hell.
That's the idea. Baphomet with the goat head is seen as symbolizing this mindset. Animalistic side, but also the up-down journey, duality versus oneness.
Imbalance comes from improper energy use, blocking flow, lowering frequency, like over-sexualization hitting the sacral.
That's an example given. It even notes Ridue yellow and fast food logos resonate with lower chakras, keeping people there.
Back to human as hue, mind tuning to frequency scholars, references Dr. Joe Dispenza's work connecting thoughts, energy, matter via the chakra system.
Yes, and categorizing emotions.
Mm.
Lust as low frequency may be promoted by media to keep people low.
There are minor chakras too, hands and feet.
Hand chakras bridge to the energetic world, air thoughts. Foot chakras bridge to earth, physical, release excess energy for grounding.
Root chakra is earth element. Heel is hell, means operating just from the root, desires, fears, lack.
While head is heaven is higher awareness. 3 brains. Higher mental, head heaven, mammalian emotional, heart earth, reptilian physical, heel hell.
Environment mirrors chakras. Red lava, root, green earth, heart, blue sky, higher.
Yes, mythological figures like Set, grounded animal, and Horus, elevated air, are aspects of consciousness maybe externalized to Satan Jesus.
EL God, RA, masculine fire consciousness. Feminine water, subconscious. Left brain, logisogo sinister. Right brain, intuition unity righteous.
It mentions Spotify using 440 Hz tuning, potentially hindering the right brain, promoting the left, unlike 432 Hz or 528 Hz solfeggio frequencies.
Ark of the Covenant symbolizes balanced brain hemispheres guarding the pineal sacred space throne of God.
That's the interpretation. God reaching to Adam artwork. Higher self connecting to lower, needing effort, contemplation, meditation for higher awareness.
Egyptian falcon of Horus and Digid pillar linked to sea and spine. Know thyself connects to the eye of Horus, soul, sun, soul.
And the Merkah, mare-like spirit Payu body, is our ascension vehicle. Harmonizing duality, exploring realities. Body nourished by spirit, actions guided by soul.
To think is to create with light. I alone exist. I am the all. Humanity's unique self-awareness of cosmic light.
Devil is deveiling into lower planes through ignorance, false identity. References Corinthians, ye are the temple of God, Psalm 82, ye are gods. Urges balancing brain hemispheres.
John 21.6. Cast the net on the right-hand side means tap into the right brain for God higher self.
Yes. And Mark 16.19, sat on the right hand of God, links to the right hemisphere, head heaven. Balance reptilian, limbic, neocortex brain parts.
Okay, finally, let's look at the elements themselves and the nature of our world according to this book. Starts with ether.
Yes, ether or spirit aether, the essence of all matter, everywhere and nowhere, connects physical and astral, holds infinite potential, manifests and unmanifests, hidden energy vibrating to create everything.
And earth, water, air, fire, just different vibrations of ether.
Exactly, they transform into each other. Order based on vibration speed, earth slowest, fire fastest. All share ether's qualities, lines with Plato's ideas.
Order is earth, water, air, fire, spirit ether, based on density heat.
Yes, electromagnetic fields are core to creation. Matter is at a neutral 0 point, inertia. Earth is the plane of inertia, a vast toroidal EM field, planet Earth.
And at the center of every EM field is magnetic white light.
The most magnetic point, yes. The North Pole is Earth's magnetic center, activating ether, generating the 4 elements from beyond space.
And the sun, moon, stars are influenced by a rotating hyperboloid at the magnetic center, governing daily cycles.
That's the description. Hyperboloids are the opposite shape to spheres. Both Earth's core, macrocosm, and the human heart, microcosm, have this shape, a fundamental pattern.
Stars is the start of the soul's journey, stairway to heaven. Earth is the heart, the balance point in the soul system.
Sun is electric positive, masculine, energizing. Moon is magnetic negative, feminine, resting. Tropic of Capricorn linked to North Pole, equator to Earth, Tropic of Cancer to Moon Sun. Earth is central.
7 layers of heaven, 7 planetary energy layers of self in the firmament, each planet in a different layer speed.
Yes. Sun's movement between tropics creates seasons. Horus pulling the North Pole rope symbolizes pole rotation, Horus sunset moon, driven by the central force.
Earth as an anagram of heart signifies balance, duality, like the Freemason black whiteboard, spirit light versus matter darkness.
Right. Black cube of Saturn symbolizes the physical 3D world. Everything is EM torus fields. Green, center of color spectrum, connects green, earth, blue sky, resonates with higher chakras, guides to divine. Solar system is the soul system, Earth at the heart.
7 planets equals 7 colors shaping minds from material to spiritual. Saturn linked to Satan, central and Lord of the Rings. Quran 65.12 mentions 7 heaven-similar realms.
Blue sky follows green earth in the spectrum, reinforcing Earth as duality's balance point. Mentions Persian miniature of 7 heavens, planets as flat surfaces, plane in firmament layers.
And back to Genesis again. Let there be light, universe is light waves. Torus field is light unit projected by Polaris, all-seeing eye.
Isaiah 40.22, God above circle of earth, heavens like a dome. Genesis 1.16, sun electric male, moon magnetic female. Moon has own light. Genesis 1.6, firmament separates waters above below.
Link to Masonic royal arch. Heaven is balance harmony. Genesis 1.1 soar reinforces firmament dividing waters. Boat on water, ethereal realms. Stars seen through telescopes, light through ether above.
Checkerboard again. Duality. Lighter souls ascend. 7 stars equals 7 planets wander 7 layers. 5-pointed star pentacle. The 5 elements, spirit top 5 senses.
6 stairs to 7th ground relates to 7 chakras as steps to higher self. Heart earth is the balance between heaven hell.
Cites biblical verses, Chronicles 16.3, Psalms 104.5, Revelation 7.1, confirming earth as established immovable in this cosmology. Soul's journey is lightening the load, letting go materialist emotions to move toward light. Level of realization shapes reality.
Genesis 1.14, lights in the firmament for signs, points to the zodiac in the firmament. Firmament, from Latin firmus, solid arch-ski vault.
Quran references. Earth spread like carpet, 15.1971.197, heavens parallel earths. Halak 65.1, peeking head in illustrations is consciousness observing other worlds, head heaven.
This cosmology pulls in so many symbols: sun, fire, air, earth, water, moon, black sun, the sonic compass, as above, so below.
Ancient belief in a balanced realm, Jill-Najagard, including heaven, hell, maybe earth-centered. Alchemical symbol for earth, Old North Pole maps. Mentions UN logo, flat earth maps.
Polaris compass shows Polaris as 8-pointed star. Center of space-time, like a Christmas tree star. Stars visible without light pollution. Various ancient cosmologies, Egyptian, Masonic, Mayan, Hebrew, show starry ceiling firmament. Bible Quran references reinforce it. Okay, wow. That was a lot to cover. So, summing up this whole deep dive into the Book of Wisdom, it's really a journey into esotericism, consciousness, reality's interconnectedness.
Absolutely. We've touched on light as the foundation, the mind's role in perception, the Christ oil, Kundalini, chakras, the multidimensional universe.
And a huge emphasis on symbolism and metaphor, right?
Yeah.
As keys to unlocking understanding and seeing the divine within.
Exactly. Recognizing that interconnectedness.
The book really pushes for harmonizing opposites, seeking that unified view to realize our potential and just appreciate how everything fits together.
It presents this inner journey, exploring our own consciousness as the fundamental way to find wisdom and understand our place in the cosmos.
Right. So, on that note, here's something for you, the listener, to think about. How might viewing your own consciousness as this frequency tuner actually change how you approach your thoughts, your emotions day to day?
Yeah. What frequency do you think you're mostly tuned into? And according to the ideas in this book, what kind of reality might that be creating for you?
Definitely something to chew on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.